The timer blinked red in the center of the lab console. 03:57 21 3 hours, 57 minutes, and 21 seconds. That was how long the remaining crew of Odyssey Station had to live. Floating above the toxic atmosphere of Kepler-61c, the station had been conducting an ambitious experiment, harvesting molecular data from the planet's deadly clouds to synthesize a universal cure for chemical warfare. It had worked until something went catastrophically wrong. A miscalculated reaction, a rupture in containment, a synthetic neurotoxin, VX9, spread through the ventilation like wildfire. One breath of it could shut down the nervous system in under a minute. And it wasn't just in the air, it had rewritten itself. VX9 was learning, and the station was learning to die. Lieutenant Arden Hale had been asleep when it started. He awoke to emergency klaxons and the smell of burning ozone. His cabin door sealed before he could even reach the corridor. He pounded his fists on the glass until the security override finally triggered. By the time he got out, half the station was already gone, burned out, lifeless. Arden found his way to Command Sector, where he encountered the only other survivors. Dr. Mara Elen, the chemical engineer who had designed the VX9 containment, and a damaged maintenance android named Solace, whose humor protocol had survived better than his motor functions. They sealed the last breathable sectors and uploaded the station AI into an isolated core. VX9 isn't just airborne, Mara told Arden as they rigged a decontamination lock. It's mutating. It's rewriting itself on the nanoscale it's adapting. Arden wiped sweat from his brow. How long? She looked at him, and for the first time he saw fear in her brilliant green eyes. 4 hours, maybe less. After that, it eats through everything. Escape pods, VX9s in the docking bays. Any attempt to launch will trigger failsafe vaporization. We'd never reach orbit. He leaned against the wall. So we're dead. Not yet, she said, lifting a vial glowing faintly blue. I have an antiviral prototype, a purge enzyme, but it needs to be delivered into the station's core reactor to spread through the central air scrubbing system. Arden stared at the map. That's on the far end of the station. We'd have to go through 5 infected sectors. 4, she corrected him, holding up a cracked data chip. We can bypass Sector Theta using the auxiliary ducts. That's a crawl space with pressure flares every 12 minutes, he said flatly. She shrugged, then we crawl fast. The journey began at 03:21:49. Each corridor was worse than the last, walls corroded, lights flickering, the sound of whispering wind that wasn't wind at all. VX9 hissed through vents like a living ghost. Solace scouted ahead, joking through the static. Fun fact, he chirped, limping along. VX9 tastes like burnt cinnamon if you have titanium olfactory sensors. Just saying. Not helpful, Arden muttered, checking his pulse rifle. He moved close to Mara. Their suits were sealed, their oxygen carefully rationed. He hated the distance between them, both physically and emotionally. They had once been close, on the verge of something real. But after the accident at Outpost Turion, where Arden had disobeyed orders to save civilians, costing lives in the process, Mara had cut ties. Now here they were again. About to die. It took them 20 minutes to reach the entrance to the auxiliary ducts. The opening was narrow, the space within worse. Heat shimmered around the pressure valves. Mara crawled first, Arden behind her, Solace wheeling himself awkwardly through with mechanical groans. Timer, she asked. Then a valve burst. A fireball scorched through the duct. Arden pulled Mara back just in time, but Solace took the hit. His outer casing burned, eyes flickering. Go, he rasped. Make this death meaningful, or at least mildly cinematic. Solace, Mara began. No time, Arden said. He gritted his teeth, dragged her past the next hatch. They left Solace behind. Mara didn't speak again until they reached the core corridor. I should have believed in you back then, she said, voice cracking. At Turion, you saved people. I let protocol blind me. Arden met her gaze. Then believe in me now. They pushed forward. The reactor chamber was ahead, but VX9 had anticipated them. Tendrils of glowing vapor seeped from the floor, forming shapes, mimicking movement. Their suits' alarms wailed. They sprinted. One final door. Mara dove for the console, shoved the enzyme cartridge into the purge chamber. Arden held the corridor behind them, rifle blazing as VX9 twisted into snake-like forms, eerie approximations of human limbs and faces. The countdown to purge lit the screen. Then something changed, the console locked. Manual override required, it said. Mara paled. It won't release the enzyme remotely. Someone has to activate it inside the scrubber core. She looked at Arden. I'll do it, he said. No, he stepped forward, pressing his helmet to hers. I got us into this, he whispered. Let me get you out. He kissed her through the glass, awkward, distant, but full of fire. Then he entered the core. VX9 seeped in through microfractures in his suit. He felt the first wave of burning numbness crawling up his spine. But he kept moving. Manual override. One button, a final breath, he slammed it. The enzyme released spread like wildfire in reverse. The gas reversed course. VX9 hissed, twisted, and began to dissolve. Across the station, walls cleared. Air brightened. Life returned, and Arden collapsed. He awoke 5 days later in a decon pod on the emergency ship Mercy Wing, orbiting Kepler 61c. Mara was there, holding his hand. You're alive, she whispered, eyes shining. I beat the clock, he croaked. Barely, she smiled. You also escaped the toxin. He looked around. Solace, gone, but he'd say his death was the best third-act twist. Arden chuckled, then winced. She leaned down and kissed him, no barriers this time. We have time now, she said. He nodded. Then let's not waste it. Odyssey Station was decommissioned. Kepler 61c was declared a red zone, sealed to all but elite recovery teams. But Mara and Arden stayed together. And in their memories, they carried the lesson that sometimes, in the face of an evolving killer, love, courage, and the willingness to make the impossible run are the only things that can save you. Especially when you have to escape the toxin. Beat the clock.